So, of course, we continue talking about water-saving tips. I think that is underpinning everything we talk about at the moment. We're also looking at that knock-on effect of what the drought is doing. For many of us, day zero is something ahead of us, but there are organizations like the SPCA, we discovered last week, that have been dealing with the reality of little to no water already for a while. We've seen how hard it's hit in rural areas, and another organization that is right in the thick of it, of course, is Cape Nature. They have more than 20 reserves in their care, and that's here in the Western Cape. And this morning we're going to chat to their tourism manager for Cape Nature, Ramese Matthews, and we'd love to take your calls as well. This morning mainly we'd love to hear if you've got some water saving tips, ways that you can contribute to pushing day zero out a little bit more. It's the 11th of May is where it's been set at the moment, but I know we can beat this, but we've got to save water. Ramese, thank you so much for joining us, man. Every time I have to broach one of these conversations, the reality really does sink in for me. It's tough out there. How hard has the drought hit your business, hit Cape Nature?
I think we've seen actually increased visitors. People actually want to come back to nature and they want to see things that are green and get away from the stress of knowing that we're running out of water. But I mean, it's a problem for all of us. It's something that we're all thinking about. Things like felt recovery is slow, but all of our products are open to the public. So you can come and visit still.
And now more than ever, we need to support organizations like yourself in order to obviously reduce the amount of water that's used in your reserves. How have you guys approached this? What are you doing, and measures have been put in place in your context?
Okay, so our reserves are rural. We're in the middle of nowhere in some places, so we are not on municipal water supply. So we've always used rainwater harvesting, low-flow shower heads, waterless toilets, that sort of thing. So we've always been sort of championing low water use.
We obviously have an opportunity now, and I think it's testament to the fact that we've been able to push day zero out a little bit, at least, is testament to how much water saving has been done. In your mind, as guys who are really well versed in saving water and using what little resource you have, what tips do you have for viewers?
I think it's just be mindful. Be mindful of the use that you're making of water. It's not business as usual. Whatever you're doing, if you're rinsing out a cup, it's a resource. So think carefully about how you spend your 50 liters, I think.
It's amazing to me. I was saying off camera when I saw Theewaterskloof for the first time, that's where the penny finally dropped for me. And I'm quite conscious, so I would imagine there are a lot of people out there like that who think they're doing their part, but until you actually go out there and see the reality, it is hectic, man. We'd love to hear from you guys. If you've got some water saving tips, 021 430 9881. Ramese is going to stay with us for a few more segments.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh man, we love you. Rian, have an awesome day. Thanks for that, Zoe. Now, let's get serious again for a second. We're talking about the implications of day zero of the current drought and the crisis here in the Western Cape. On Cape Nature in particular, we've got Ramese Matthews here, who has proven himself to be a tome of knowledge when it comes to this particular area. And what I'm loving is the fact that you guys have already been operating at best practice when it comes to saving water for a while now. That's how you guys have sustained yourselves. And you've mentioned that there's been actually kind of an uptake in people getting out there to experience nature, to connect with nature, which shows me that we've got a heart and people are motivated. The hikers out there are all of our trails, our rivers, our dams, these places that we love to go and experience and go and hike, and we've got so many fanatics out here. Are they still open to the public? Can we still connect with nature?
Yeah, the majority of our hiking trails are still open. I think we have a few sites that would have suffered large fires that just aren't recovering because of the low rainfall, but the majority of trails open where we are open for business.
I love that, and you need to go and support. We've seen so many sectors suffer hugely from the lack of water. Tourism, the film industry, the hospitality, we don't want that to spill over into ecotourism as well. Yeah. What do we do if day zero, how much of an impact is day zero going to make for you guys, or are you kind of already in a protected bubble? How are you approaching day zero?
I don't think that anybody's really protected. I think we're part of a community that's facing this challenge, so we're not separate in any way. I think in terms of our tourism products, we'll work to keep everything open. But like I said, it's an individual effort. Everybody's got to play their part, because day zero comes, we could close as well. So we face the same challenge.
That's the bottom line, and I think it's a bigger picture issue, and it's a personal journey where all of us are terrified. I've got a 9-month baby at home, and you just try and wrap your head around what we can do. So when we are hiking in your areas, when we are utilizing Cape Nature, what do we need to be mindful of? What do our eco-tourists need to have in front of mind?
Sure, just be responsible, be mindful of your water use, be mindful of things like fire risk. I mean, it's a big risk for us, especially when the veld is dry, that there could be ignitions all over the place. So it's really just be mindful and think about what you're doing. I mean, I know you're on holiday and you're enjoying yourself, and we want you to, but it's still a collective responsibility, I think.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I think we had something like 1,500 veld fires during fire season last year, and there's a small amount of people who are trying to combat that as well. So you can really play your part as a tourist, as a community member, as our farmers have proven earlier today, but it really does rest on the individual. So what are you doing as an individual? 021-430-9881. Please give us some of your water-saving tips.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. We have got Ramese Matthews from Cape Nature in studio. We are talking about the current drought crisis, and we asked you guys to put some tips and at least weigh in on the conversation. What are you doing to save water? And we've had a couple of really interesting things come through. Maria here in Cape Town says she's been saving rainwater since 1994. Because we knew this was coming. We've known for a long time. They built the reservoirs on the top of Table Mountain 100 years ago. We know what's going on here. Then Alex is saying and making a suggestion, maybe we should be digging our dams deeper to prevent evaporation, less surface area, make it deeper. And that kind of raises an interesting question. In terms of the big reservoirs of water, the dams within Cape Nature, are there still big bodies of water that people can get out to? And is it safe to swim in the water that's there at the moment?
Okay, yeah, so where we still have water flowing, coming out of the mountain in our rivers, it's definitely safe. I don't think you could get water cleaner than that. That is the water source. And then some of our pools that are at our accommodation facilities, we've been trying to harvest rainwater, and we've been topping up in that way. So the ones that are still open are still great to swim.
Have you guys taken the mindset that this is the direction we're going in perpetuity now? We're not going to have a rainy season. We are caught in a drought, the biggest ever, but we effectively live in a desert that is only getting drier. What future plans have you guys put in place? Where is Cape Nature's mindset moving forward?
Okay, so absolutely. I think we're looking at preserving a resource that is definitely finite, and I think we've always looked at it that way. And simple things, it's a behavior change. So a waterless toilet. When we launched Kogelberg Nature Reserve in 2012, that was one of the selling points, and we were scared. How are people going to react?
Boy, has the story changed now.
But I mean, that saves thousands of liters of water a year, and they work. It's clean. It's there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. So it's things like that I think people need to start taking a little bit more seriously. That you can do at home. A little bit beyond just a low flow shower head.
What makes you most nervous? What is the worst case scenario for Cape Nature? What are you guys preparing for on the darkest end of the spectrum?
I think, for us, it's just like everybody else. Low rainfall is a big challenge. Specifically, we don't want to see people not coming to nature reserves. We want to keep sharing nature with people. And then also, from an ecological perspective, dry veld, that sort of thing is increased fire risk. We protect species, so they are at risk as well. So we are hoping for rain, just like everybody else.
You have an opportunity, I think, to obviously engage with the broader public. Why do you feel it's a responsibility to put this message out there on a personal level? Because you guys are championing this cause.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that we've taken for granted for a very long time. You open a tap and water comes out, and the message is water doesn't come from a tap.
Yeah.
It travels a long way, and we do a lot of work in terms of things like alien vegetation management, invasive aliens that are drying up our reserves of water, and that's time and effort goes into that, and people need to realize that we are fighting to preserve something.
And we're all standing together. I love that. We're going to connect one more time. Again, keep those comments and those suggestions coming through. Hit us up on our Facebook page or give us a shout to 021-430-9881. What are you doing to save water?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So you can see the pups are really depressed because this has been quite a heavy conversation. But I think what Ramese has shown me and what Cape Nature are showing us is that in the darkest of times, we have an opportunity to show the best of ourselves. And while as organizations we have a role to play, as individuals, I think it really does hit home. What have you been doing, or what are some of the shifts that you've seen in your own life? Do you have tips for viewers on how you can save water in your own context?
I think we have a lot of tips on our website. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And we've got homeowner guides. But I think really, for me personally, is to use water more than once. I think that's a big thing. So keep recycling it. You know, it goes from the pot into a container, and then you're rinsing things off with that. And it just doesn't go down the drain after, coming out of the tap.
I wonder how many unbelievable new entrepreneurship ideas have been birthed out of this time that we'll see continue once we've moved through this. And we will get through this. I've no doubt that working together, we will push day zero back. We will get through this. But we've got a caller on the line. Hani, a very good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Good morning. Phoning us all the way from beautiful Potch. So good to connect with you. What is your comment this morning?
Yes, I'm having a few tips, like 3 tips for the people, household tips for people in Cape Town.
Brilliant. Go for it.
Yes, the first tip is if you do your dishes, don't use dishwashing liquid. Use soap powder. It doesn't leave a oily. It doesn't leave your water oily. You can use it in cold water. At the same time, you can leave that water in for the whole day, and at the same time, it cleans your cloth, what you use to wash your dishes with.
Okay,
the second tip is take a plastic liter bottle, fill it up with water, put it in the bowl of your toilet, the flush bowl. And every time you flush your toilet, you save 1 liter of water.
Brilliant.
And then the third tip is people with top loaders washing machines. Please use your washing machines not on a normal cycle because it uses a lot of water. Use it as a twin cup. Only put it on a wash cycle, and then rinse your space of your clothes in a separate container, like a dish.
Bucket or a drum, yeah.
Yeah, yes, a bucket or whatever. And then when you empty your washing machine, empty it on the plants or on the grass. I mean, why waste that water? Just water your plants or the grass.
You can see Potch has been dry for a long time. You know how to do it. That is awesome. Thank you so much. 3 brilliant tips. And I think a lot of people have already started adopting things like that. But just by making those small incremental changes, 1 liter on 1 flush, how much of a difference that can make. That is absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for that. I think let's look at the bigger picture here. How can we help you as Cape Nature in a general sense, because it's all one connected system here? How can we help you in your efforts? What do you need from tourists from South Africa at large?
I think, again, the message is be mindful, but we are open. Come and visit a nature reserve, see what we have done in terms of rainwater harvesting, waterless toilets, low-flow shower heads. It's leisure accommodation. It's a great experience, but you can take something home with you and see how we've done it.
And all those entrepreneurs out there, I would suggest you get in there now, because there are opportunities. There is a silver lining here. But we have an opportunity, I think, as a community, as you said, to do something truly remarkable. Let's push day zero back and make sure that you go and connect with nature, realize firsthand what we are protecting and how beautiful South Africa really is.